Pretty cool.
And speaking of Earth Day here, the zoo, you ran a 10K this morning.
Yeah, the zoo run was this morning. A great turnout, well over 1,000 people there.
Wow,
between the fun run, the 5K, and the 10K. Of course, I had to pick the hardest race. You know.
Of course, but you're a runner, though.
Yeah, I do a little bit of running.
And you can handle the cold this morning that I could not handle.
It was chilly at the start, but those temperatures in the 40s and 50s, once you get going, that ends up being pretty perfect for those long runs because your body heats up and then it keeps you from overheating. So not too bad for a long run, but before it started and after it was over, a little bit on the rough side with those chilly conditions. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of supporting the zoo, but I'm not a fan of what we're about to see. Go ahead and pull up the graphics. Here's what's coming up. It could just be a wee bit on the frosty side for a few folks tomorrow morning. It looks like right now those areas will mainly be north of 412. It's going to be a close call in Tulsa, so I think we're going to be all right, but you might, just in case, if you can pull something in, just to be safe, if we drop a couple more degrees, you know, just kind of watch out for that south of Tulsa. By and large, should be all right. But it's going to be a close call for a lot of people. Temperatures today, not really all that good. I mean, April is trying to do its best impression of March. I don't think many of us appreciate that, but that's what's going on. 50s today, clouds rolled in, a few sprinkles. Temperatures right now, we've cooled off a little bit. 48 in OKC, 54 in Tulsa with a few showers and sprinkles rolling through the area. You can see there's the frost advisories, the blue, that's freeze warnings, and then just some very light showers and sprinkles rolling through pretty much the entire state. Some severe weather down in Texas. That's going to stay down there. We're not going to get in on any of that since we're basically doing an early March impression. Cloudy skies, gloomy, cool, 54. Light north breeze. At least the wind's not too strong. Dew point at 24. Air pretty dry, so a lot of this likely not reaching the ground. Temperature is pretty uniform in the low to mid 50s across all of the areas. So future view overnight brings those showers through. Better chance of that down to the south through the morning hours. We'll start off tomorrow as things clear out. Low 30s to the north, mid 30s around Tulsa, around 40 to the south. So you can kind of see that gradient. Tulsa to the north, that's where we could see that frost and or freeze. Rolling into the afternoon, really light winds. We'll see sunshine. Temperatures well below normal in the low to mid 60s, but all in all, with the light winds and the sun, this 64 is going to feel pretty good. I'm going to call Sunday a pretty solid day overall, even though we're below normal. Monday, still in the 60s, but some showers move into the region. And then Tuesday, 50s, maybe around 60 to the south. It is going to be a gloomy, cool day, but we do have rain on the way. That's the one positive out of all of this. We're way behind, only 6/100ths of an inch so far. Over 4 is our average for the month. Right now, we're on track for the third driest on record, if that doesn't change. It does look like it's going to change. Here's our forecast over the next 7 days. Notice most of the state getting an inch to maybe 2 inches locally higher. So that's good. We definitely need that because this has been problematic. And notice some of those darker colors now finally in the areas that have the worst drought. So hopefully we can start to help dig out of this hole in a few locations. But overall, things look pretty promising with lots of rain chances coming up for lots of the area over the course of several days. The only negative is we're going to be way below normal. We're going to generally be in that 10 to 15 degrees below normal range. And keep in mind, we're moving those averages into the mid 70s. So that could just mean mostly 60, but a couple of these days could be in the 50s. We may push up to near 70 on a couple, but overall it's going to be on the cool side of life, and that trend could continue into the start of May, though I think by the time we get into this like third onward time frame, we'll start to dig out of this thing and see some better temperatures back into the 70s. Overall, we should during that week be drier than normal, so hopefully things pan out for us this next week because we could go back the other direction for a few days after that as we roll into early May. In the meantime, it's jacket weather this evening. I've got my light jacket on to head out to get dinner here in a little bit, craving a hamburger. 37 by tomorrow morning, chilly. We have those frosty conditions possible to the north. And then as we roll into the noontime period, we'll start to see the sun come out. We'll start warming up. We're on our way to a pretty nice afternoon overall. So I think we'll take that because things start going downhill after that. Overall, we're a bit on the cool side going over the next several days. And I kind of erred on the cooler side of the data just because of the rain chances and the clouds. If we get a little more sun, a little less rain, those temperatures could be a little warmer on some of those days. But just keep in mind, it's going to be gloomy, cool, and rainy basically from sometime late Monday all the way through potentially Friday. So we'll just have to deal with that. Looks like we might clear out next weekend. We do remain cool, but at least those temperatures roll into the 60s for us. And hopefully things look upward beyond the forecast period there for us. That is it for weather.